Welcome to Locking It In with Deb and Pear. I'm Deb.
I'm Pear.
I'm a real estate agent.
I'm a loan officer.
We're reporting for the week ending August 7th, 2021. And we're here to answer your questions on real estate and give you the state of affairs as they stand today. If you're facing eviction, you have a chance of getting help, unlike last week when the eviction moratorium expired. The CDC has recently had their own eviction limits that they just introduced, which will be in effect through October 3rd. In this case, it's a little bit different. It's driven based upon your income, your ability to pay. You have to have made some effort to get other assistance as well. And you have to have no options. If you get evicted, you're going to be on the street.
Which means that there's a lot of people in that category.
There will be a significant enough that in areas majorly affected by COVID, which is where this would apply, it doesn't apply to everywhere. If you live in a place where there's a high community transmission level of COVID and a high number of renters who are going to be evicted, all of those potential COVID spreaders are going to be out in the street 24 hours a day. And that could create a national emergency. Big time.
Well, homelessness by itself is a national emergency.
Yeah, it is really a crisis. Everyone in America should have the right to a roof over their head. I don't care how much of a scumbag you are, how lazy you are. Everyone has a right to housing and food and water. I am a huge advocate that way. And while you're renting successfully without in fear of being evicted, here's something you want to consider. We've been talking about this a lot recently, which is the cost of renting versus buying. And renters, we want to warn you of a scary new trend.
What, raising rents 8%?
Well, let's look at it this way. Typically, rents go up about 1% a month. Right now, they are going up 3 to 3.2% every single month. Every single month. Right now, the median mortgage nationally is $1,200 a month. $1,204 a month. And the median rent is $1,575. Your mortgage won't change. That will be the same every single month. Your rent, if it goes up 3% this month, 3% next month, and 3% the month after that for 6 months, you end up with rent a half a year from now, almost $1,900. Does your income go up that much? I realize inventory is low. And it's going to stay rather low, although it will gradually, I believe, based on everything I'm seeing now, is that we are heading into a fairly normal 2022 season. I think they're stabilizing once the people stabilize with their new lifestyle and with the working at home, etc., and no longer afraid of the next lockdown. I think we're going to see inventory gradually start to open up in a normal seasonal pattern. In the meantime, a persistent potential home buyer will be able to find a home. You just need to be persistent, and you need to look at everything. Don't just look at the pictures and think, oh, I don't like this, it doesn't suit me. Your creativity and your mind could just come alive. And sometimes it's better just to buy a house to have security and a roof over your head. You can always rent it out later and move up. There's no reason to buy your dream house right now. If it's not the perfect house, you're never going to find the perfect house. You're not. You need to find a house. You're not that picky about your apartment. Otherwise, you're going to pay rent through the roof.
But you can find the perfect mortgage right now. How does that sound?
Definitely. Parents said it right. And
interest rates are below 3% even on manufactured homes, which are a little bit higher than the others.
Yeah.
2.5% may be possible.
It's
on a 30-year fix.
yeah, and a 15-year fix. Whoa,
Yeah.
those are awesome right now, guys. They've never been as low historically as they are now, and that will get you equity a lot faster. It's definitely a good time to be considering refinancing if you haven't, and to be considering a home purchase, even if it takes you 6 months to find a home. If you're looking persistently and you're considering not just the houses that look just that you like, because you're making your own house. Once you move in, you gradually change things and you make it your own. And eventually you're going to move out and you might rent it to someone else. Think about it as an investment and as housing security, because the only security you're going to have in housing is a mortgage, because nobody is going to sell the house and make you move out. No one's going to raise your rent. You're going to get your equity back when you sell it. And if you can't manage to make the mortgage payment, just put the house on the market and get the money out of it, or rent it out until you can finance it. There are so many things you can do if you own a home that will keep you from being homeless, as well as legal rights you have because you own the home.
Plus, you have 30 days before you have a ding on your credit. Whereas if you're renting, you have like 16 days till you're kicked out, right?
Well, I don't know how, a lot of cities have changed this, but if you're renting, you can get evicted, typically without COVID, in a couple months. With a mortgage, you're going to be able to stay in your house, even in foreclosure, for at least a year, and you might be able, in the meantime, to work it out. You've got a lot more time, a lot more security, a lot more time to recover, and take in a renter to rent a room and help you pay the mortgage. You have so many options, and it's not overwhelming now, and waiting till the market gets stable isn't going to help you.
That reminds me of our...
The prices aren't going to go
That
down.
reminds me of our mutual borrower that bought a duplex in Tenino.
That was awesome.
Her mortgage payment, because of the rent of the second unit, was like less than $500 a month. She had been paying over $1,000 a month rent.
Yeah.
And the renter that she had did home repairs for her, took care of her, made sure she was okay. It was just an awesome situation.
Yeah.
Not all numbers are that good.
Yeah.
But it's something to think about.
And the problem with condos, too, is they are not as secure as owning a home, because in addition to paying your mortgage, you will always have to pay the HOA dues. They will never go away, and you could also have a special assessment and end up paying even more. You could be paying over $1,000 a month extra just for the dues and the special assessments. And it can go up at any time. There's no security. I feel a condo is not housing security any more than rent, because if I can't pay the rent on the HOA, my property will foreclose.
True.
That's what happens. You can't pay the HOA dues, you can be foreclosed on. Even though you've got all this equity, they won't use your equity to pay the HOA. It'll only pay for all the extra fees because of the foreclosure process. It's not a good deal at all. It's too high. The HOA dues are always way too high in every single rental community. In particular, 55 plus. I've seen HOA dues as high as over $900 a month.
I think my parents are like 600 or something.
Yeah. The 55 plus communities are really pricey. And in fact, during this past year, the sales in 55 plus communities, the prices were actually higher. The sale price was higher than the comparative non-age restricted community, which is quite interesting.
That's true. That's true. They are more expensive, a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, about what, $12 a square foot, something like that. It will be actually a lesser property. It will usually be attached, such as a condo. You may not have the garage attached. Whereas with the single family, you'll have a yard, some outdoor space, etc. Single family that's not age restricted. It's not as good of a place to live, except you might have recreational activities and you might have other a whole neighborhood of people who form a little community. I would just caution you, if you're a grandparent, that some of these communities don't take kindly when your grandkids come to stay. Which is, by the way, illegal.
Or when you make
against the Fair Housing Act. If your granddaughter wants to stay with you for a week or even a month, your community cannot legally stop you from doing that. But you want to live there and be their friend, but something to think about.
Or if you want to make a certain home improvement, you can't do it.
Right. That's another thing. The restrictions are even sometimes extend to inside of your home. It might be similar to a condominium. Not all condos support installing a washer and dryer, for instance. Some units will and some units won't in the same building. You just don't have any flexibility. In my mind, you don't really own something.
Well, you do.
If you don't have flexibility with it, and if you still got to pay for it every month, rent on it. It doesn't cost me that much to maintain my house. If I paid HOA dues every single month, I would have paid way more than what I put into our house. And we can put money into it as much as we want. I'm just talking about the everyday maintenance, just the normal things. Even when you have a leak, etc. It's not $500 a month every month. I mean, that's $6,000 a year. I don't know what kind of house you have. It doesn't cost me that much to maintain the plumbing and maintain everything in working order and keep the lawn mowed and the house painted. It's really not that bad. We know that the cost of lumber and building materials has been extremely high, been going up and up. And there is now, thanks to finally legislation in 2018, before 2018, allowed hemp finally to be grown in the United States. And I have always said for years and years, this is really stupid not to grow hemp. It's used for clothing and all kinds of things. It got banned because they banned THC, even though you can't get high on hemp. There is such a small amount in there, it can't get anyone high, yet it's been illegal to grow until recently. And it is an amazing product. Not only can it replace wood, hardwood.
It's like oak. When
it will be as hard as oak and really strong. You can make all kinds of planks and plywood, and instead of taking 40 years to grow a tree, it takes 90 days to grow the hemp to the point where you can use it. And in some cases, you can get 3 growing seasons a year. If you think about it, it is extremely eco-friendly. It's actually a carbon negative because it actually erases a lot of it. And it also can replace brick. You can make brick stones out of it, walls, flooring, prefabricated 3D printed panels. All of this, and they're much more durable. It can even replace plastic, only it's stronger, and it is biodegradable. It is an awesome product.
It can also replace cement.
Yeah, concrete. There's something called hempcrete. It's already used for biofuels, fuel pellets, and it's been used for fabric and paper, even food products.
I don't think I can't put my mind around food products.
Yeah, I don't know what they use for food products.
That doesn't sound appetizing to me.
It's not something that you eat by itself. It's probably a filler product.
I don't want it.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited about it. There are a number of smaller companies starting up this technology now, and in a few years we should start seeing them on the market, and I'm really excited for these houses, these products to come out, because we will have a much better world with hemp. Anything you want to add, Perrin?
I think, like I said earlier, I think it's a really good time to lock into a good mortgage.
I agree. Or refinance. Either of those options you need to consider right now. If you own your home and you want to upgrade your home, you need to think about it now. Your
now
rent
is a good time
is going to steal your money. All that money you can save Let's say your rent's going to go up 3% a month. Try saving 3% a month. But you can't do that if your rent's going up that much. But until it does, start stashing your money away and be open. Start thinking about other living situations, because you don't want to get in a situation where your rent's skyrocketing like that. You won't be able to keep up. I think that's chaos. And it's coming.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week. That's been another Locking It In with Deb and Pear.
Thank you.